Hello. Alright, it is time. I'm going to give it a few minutes. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right spot. Get all my stuff ready still. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm in the right spot before I start talking. Alright. Group. Yes, I am live in the group. Okay, guys. Let me turn the volume down. If you guys have any questions along the way, or you're watching this on replay and have questions, drop them below, because that's what I'm here for. I'm going to have my comments pulled up here so I can see them. Sometimes they come through, sometimes they don't, so we'll see. Okay, so I have never done one of these, so you'll have to bear with me too, because I'm figuring it out as well. Let me cut this open first. Has anyone ever done string art in this group? If you have, let me know. I saw a video, actually I saw a TikTok of someone doing it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try that. Okay. So, first thing, I'm going to take these words off. We're going to paint those, but later on. I did a little test run on just a scrap piece of board before I did this, and I tried to like freehard the nails. I was not, if I couldn't freehard it, you guys. So this was just, I thought this would be super helpful to get your nails in the right spot. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stain mine. You can paint yours, leave it raw, stain it, whatever. I sent I hope a decent amount of stain in your box. I would definitely paint the front and the sides first and make sure you have enough stain. And then if you have enough, maybe paint the back, but it's not really necessary. So I'm just gonna take my glaze. I like to use, if I have a big space, I like to use glaze with paper towel. I just think it is quicker and it gives a more even coat. So we're gonna put a coat of this on first. I think maybe at the end, after it dries, I thought about giving it a light little white distressing on the edges, but we'll see how it turns out. For right now, I'm just going to go with stain. I think the red will go well on the stain too. What are y'all up to tonight? I think we're finally done with the snow here. Thank goodness. That was a lot of snow. Uh-oh. I'm having some troubles with the air compressor tonight. So, hopefully you can still hear me. Alright. Here's that. I'm going to do the sides real quick. You have done? Well, I'm glad somebody has. So this should be easier for you. Easier for you than me. Okay. Sometimes if you have a piece of wood that is like not as smooth on the edges, I find it easier to use a sponge on the not so smooth parts. But I think I only have one kind of rough spot, or rough side. So I'm going to get these sides first, and then I'm going to go back with the sponge on the rough side. And I do not like the feeling of the glaze on my hands. Alright. Get this cleaned up. And when you do the sides, make sure you go back over the top so don't leave any stain up on the side. Okay, so I got one rough side. See how it's like, it's easier to dab with the sponge on the rough side. I mean, you could do a paper towel, it just takes a little longer. I'm not very patient. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you all have at least a little hammer. I got a little tiny pink hammer. Okay, so now the good part is that the piece of paper pretty much fits the board perfectly. So you don't have to try a whole lot of getting, we just need to make sure that it's center. Oh shoot, hold on, here we go. Hi Amanda, I'm so happy there's a couple of you joining us tonight. It makes me happy. Okay, so there just needs to be like a little tiny border around the whole perimeter. Try to get your paper as straight as you can. I think I'm going to take a little piece of tape just to hold it in place until I get my nails in. And then once we get our nails in, we'll just rip the piece of paper off. But I'm hoping these little guideline will help, because when I tried to do one ahead of time, it did not go well. Trying to make sure all my sides are straight. Okay, I sent some extra nails just in case. I think there's like 2, maybe 3 extra. But obviously you want to try keep your nails as straight up and down as you can. When I did my little first try, I had a hard time getting my nails straight. So just put it on your dot. You don't really need to go like super duper deep. Just make sure it's sturdy. This is probably going to be the most tedious part. And again, getting the nail straight up and down is going to be the biggest challenge. So just try your best. It doesn't have to be exact. And there's a certain point where you can still move it a little. And then just try to make sure the height is somewhat the same all the way around. I feel like I'm getting better as I go. I think. And watch those thumbs. Sure. Yes, you were, Karen. This one went out before you signed back up. Okay. I just hope this thing turns out. If anything, it's going to show you what not to do. Okay. It's looking pretty good so far. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's turning out way better than my last one. I tried to do a mock-up so I could see how much of what to send with the box. My heart was not very much a heart. Oh boy. I feel like it helps if you just hold your finger on it a little bit too on the side. You can see the original. That baby's already in the trash, Amanda. I wouldn't show that thing to no one. TikTok on it, and I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. So then I started looking up different ones. People are so talented. There was like such very detailed, like intricate ones. I'm like, man, these are. It's like, I think we'll just stick with a simple heart. We're on the home stretch now. We're on the right side. And really, the numbers on the paper, I don't know that they really have anything to do with anything. Maybe once we start stringing, I don't know. But take some concentration. Okay, couple more. And even if you wanted to, like, you don't have to use the string that I sent. If you have the string already and you want to do a different color, more power to you. Okay, I'm almost here, guys. One more. Uh-oh. Okay. See, that wasn't so bad. Okay, now we're going to pull this off. Hopefully none of my nails come out with it. Okay. Okay, there's a couple little scraggler pieces of paper. But not bad. And I got one nail that I see that's taller than the rest that I gotta fix. But then we're ready. I just got a pair of tweezers here. I use a couple little pieces of paper. Okay. Fix this nail. Okay, we're ready. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna wing it here. I did watch a couple videos, and what I noticed was, let me find the end of this. Try not to get this tangled up if you can. Try to lay it in a good spot. So, I noticed most of the people started at the top center. So I'm just going to make a little loop and like a little tie knot, and I'm going to put it on this top center one, and I'm going to give mine a double knot if I can do it. And don't even worry about cutting the excess off, because all the videos I saw you couldn't really see it, but maybe I should just in case, because there was so many different string, like bigger, smaller. Okay, I'm just gonna leave a little. Okay, so all I did was tie it on the top center nail, and now I'm gonna go around the outside of the heart. So then when you get to the bottom, do a little loop around it just to give it some stability, and then go around the other side, and then do the same thing to the middle one that you started on, and just do a little loop around it just to keep it tight. Hold on, I'll show you guys as soon as I get mine tight. And then this is what it should look like so far. So it's just basically outlining it. So start at the top middle, go all the way down the left, and then in the bottom center, do a loop around the bottom nail, and then go up the right side, loop at the top again. So now we start, again, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm gonna start going across at the top where I already am. And then I'm just gonna go, I saw people that went like every which way, and then I saw people that somewhat made a pattern. So I'm just gonna start at the top and go back and forth into more of a pattern than sporadically. But again, it's your choice. The only thing that confuses me though is getting down to the bottom and then up on the other side of the heart. So, hold on. I think I might have to go across all the way. Hold on guys, you're gonna have to give me a minute. I think I might go up. I'm just trying to make sure the top part of the heart gets done. Okay. So here's what I did. So I went, you ended up here after you did the perimeter. Then I ended up going up the outside, and then I started going back and forth here. And then I got here and I needed to go across, but then this top was open. So then I just started going up top here until I came, well, opposite. I started over here. It's backwards on the screen. Then I went up over here, and then I ended up back down here, and then I'm going to finish going across down the bottom. I hope that makes sense. I know it's backwards for you guys, so I just probably confused you. Okay, so I started here, then went all the way up, then went down the side to go over, then went up, then went down the side to go back over. So basically, when you don't want to leave a line across the center, use the exterior, basically. And I hope this is enough string. I didn't know if it was enough string or not. But I know one thing, it's very easy to get this string tangled up. Also, try and keep your string tight. Okay, so now we've made it to the bottom of the heart. So we're going to start going up in a different direction. So now I'm going to start going this way in a different direction. And then this is what's going to hopefully fill our heart in a little bit. Okay, So I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'm going to go up here and start going this way. This is harder than I thought, guys, I'm not going to lie. But really, truthfully, there's no wrong or right. There's no wrong or right. That's why I'm going to keep telling myself that. Okay, hold on. I'm going to show you this side. Karen, send me a message. Whenever you get time. Obviously not right now, but whenever you get time. Okay. Okay, now we went back up. Okay, I gotta figure out where I'm at. Okay, so I started down here, and then I went like this, all the way up this, and now I've ended up here. So now, since we went this way and this way, we need to go probably this way now. So I'm gonna start where I'm at, I guess, which is right here. And I'm gonna start going down this other side, hopefully. Actually, I don't know if that's gonna work. Hold on. There we go. When in doubt, use the outside of the heart. That's what I've realized. Seems like that helps me get where I need to go. Okay, now I'm going to go back the other way and just keep filling it in every different direction. I gotta stop and untangle my ribbon here. Okay, there's that. Has anybody ever tried the chunky blanket? Little fad that was a thing for a minute, like where you basically crochet with your hands. We tried those over like winter Christmas break. We had a chunky blanket night, and that was way harder than I anticipated as well. I think I need to just stick with the painting because I was not good at it. My daughters, I ended up having my oldest, she did mine because I was like, But it's just not my, I think it's because I'm too much of a perfectionist and you kind of like, it just was not easy. Yes, I thought about that too, Karen, but I was like, I need to do one first and see, see how hard it actually is. Okay, so now I've made it to the other side of the heart because I went down this side and then went back this way. So now I'm over here. So now we've pretty much made a full heart. So you could finish up the string and just do this, which I kind of like the wood through it a little bit, or if you wanted to keep doing a whole nother string, you could make it super duper solid. And then you probably wouldn't see any wood through it. So that's really up to you. One will get the job done, but two is going to make it very like solid heart. Okay, I'm trying to think of which direction I need to go now. Let's see. And will I have enough? Is the real question. I think I'm going to go back this way. And I've been trying to push mine down on the nails a little bit just to keep them secured on there because it could come off the top if you don't push them down far enough. So I'm going to push mine down just a little bit to keep it secured. But I think this is where I'm going to stop, because it actually turned out pretty decent. If you end up with any string left that isn't enough to do a whole other round, just go around the perimeter until it's gone, and then you'll make it to where you can just tie it off on whichever nail is closest towards the end. So hold on one second, let me tie this thing off, and then I'll show you what it looks like with one thing of string. I think it looks pretty cute. I like the look of it being string, like back and forth. So again, it's up to you how you want it. 2 would make it super dark. I'm gonna give it a double knot, I think, because I don't want this puppy coming off. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it around a couple times too. You guys, look at that. My first string art. See, like, how you can still see some through it, which is kind of how I like, but it's up to you. I have a lot of different layers going on there, so there's not really a right or wrong, or I just tried to make sure that top one was pushed down a little so it didn't come off the top of the wood. But there's that. And then now you got words with it. So I'm gonna dabble those real quick, and I think I'm just gonna paint mine red to keep it simple. Or even red with little polka dots on it would probably be cute with a paint marker, but I don't know. I think I might just go solid red. So I'm gonna take my words, go find my L, take my sponge, dab them red real quick, and then glue those on. And this is, you could leave this leaned up against something, or if you wanted to hang it, you could add a hanger and hang it on the wall. I think I'm personally gonna lean mine. You could put a candle behind it and lean it up against a candle. But it actually wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. But it also is just a heart. I can't imagine if it was like a more detailed project. If anybody is doing theirs along the way and you run into any troubles or questions, you can always send me a message. I'm always here to help. First string art. Yeah, it was. It was Amanda. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to watch a few more videos of other people doing it so that I have somewhat of an idea what to do, because I was like, okay, there's all the words. Give them just a second to, thank you, Karen. Yeah, the OCD is a real problem when you do stuff like this, because it's not meant to be perfect, but you want to make it perfect is the real problem. Which I feel like when you're painting, OCD is a good thing, because the more detail you have to painting, the cleaner and better it usually looks, so it works out. But when you do stuff like this, it's not meant to be perfect. Okay, so lay your words out first, obviously. I think I'm going to do love you on one line, and then more below it. Below love you. But I'm going to see how it looks real quick. Aww. This is cute. Alright, let me find my glue. Now I can say I've done string art. Now when you're gluing these words on, I will give you a heads up. Less is more, because the glue and stain do not mix. It likes to leave it will leave a blue mark if you put too much glue. So just a heads up. Be careful. And you're just gonna eyeball these words. to where you think it looks straight. It doesn't have to be perfect. The cursive kind of allows for a little bit of forgiveness. Okay. How cute is that? You can add, if anybody adds anything else besides this, please share it, because I feel like I want to add something to this. Actually, I am. I'm going to distress the edge with white just a little bit so you can see if you guys like it or not. And it'll only take me a second, so hang tight. I'm just going to take a foam brush. You can take any wider brush. Now the key with distressing is less is more. So as soon as you get it on there, dab it off. Because less is more. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start out soft at first so I can see how it goes. I'm just doing it around the perimeter. Probably more heavier in the corners, just so you can see it a little bit. This also works better if your stain is dry, which ours is probably not that dry considering we just did it. And if you get it on your words, just take a wet wipe. Comes right off. Part of me wants to put little white polka dots on my words, but sometimes less is more. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but so I'll just distress the corners a little bit around the edges. Okay, that's it, guys. That wasn't so bad. I think if I would move my wording up a little bit if I was to do it different. Looks like it needs to go up just a smidge, but other than that, not bad. Not bad for my first time. Alright guys, I'm going to share some pictures I take tomorrow of it. If anybody has any trouble, please let me know, because this was something that we have not done. So, if you end up watching the replay and you have questions, you can always put those in there. And anybody that does anything different, please share, because we could all use a little inspiration. Alright guys, have a good night.